interested in meditation, and I come for meditate. And twice a week we go to meditation hall, underground meditation hall, and we practice with devotees, with monks. So this is the way I practice. Then and
how old were you when you came into a monastery?
12, 13.
That's when you came to the monastery.
Yeah.
When you became a monk.
I became a monk, yeah. So this is how meditation came to my life. But I started meditating, like putting my entire effort in 2000 after I finished my university, because university life was very busy, and I read my psychology for my first degree. And I started meditating in 2015, like that. Yeah, 2015. And 5 days, 1 week, like continuously, like sitting meditation, walking meditation, sitting meditation, walking meditation. So I try to check what I have learned, then I turn everything into the practice, and I read many books related to the German monks. There are two most famous German monks in Sri Lanka. One is Venerable Nyanaponika, who lived in forest for 26 years, and he was the best friend of Lanka. And another monk is Venerable Nyana Vimala, and he was recognized as we call it noble one, and they believe that he has reached some stage of sainthood or arahantship, maybe Sotapan, or I don't know which one, and I read his book, and I consulted my teacher, and and there was a great story that inspired me how to be open-minded when it comes to the the Buddhist meditation. There was a conversation with Venerable Nyanaponika and Venerable Sri Lankan monk, and after went for begging alms round, Sri Lankan monk decided to stop meditating and living in the forest. And Venerable Nyanaponika asked why. What is the reason? He said, I put everything into practice, no success. And Venerable Nyanaponika asked, did you try any technique from different from different Buddhist schools, like even Zen Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism? Then the monk said, no, I don't want anything except Theravadic tradition. Then Venerable Nyanaponika said, that is the mentality that you have to give up. It's clear.
To be more inclusive rather than
to more inclusive, to get everything to practice, like to check whether it is suitable for you or not. So that we call it like too proud of your own practice, of your own tradition, or we can say like, what I'm trying to say that like too proud or being too proud, it's kinds of blindness. Like I'm not saying that Theravada is right or wrong, but yes, Theravada is, from my own understanding, is right, but we cannot be that too attached to our own technique and criticizing other technique that they are inferior and we are superior. So that is the philosophy, that how to be open-minded. So to be honest with you, when I practice every technique, even whatever from Tibetan Buddhism, from Mahayana Buddhism, from Zen Buddhism, and from psychology, and how to be mentally stronger. I try to check that, and I try to compare that. What is the purpose? What is the core teaching of Buddhism? What it motivates us to do? So I came to understand that, I came to realize that the most important how to remain happy, or how to stay happy, or with always with a positive mind. So the positive mind Buddhism is not about changing the environment or changing the mentality that are arising and passing away. It's about your reaction. So like there's an English statement that like problem is not the problem. Your reaction is the problem. So, like I compare it with Buddhism. Like suffering is not a suffering. Your reaction is a suffering. So suffering, just suffering. So when I put everything into practice, then I mean I tested everything, but finally like it's not about being too proud about Theravadic tradition, but because I tested everything, that finally I tested mindfulness meditation, and as I said that I like it you know has made me much better to understand. Okay.
It's very good to capture it also for you maybe.
So this is my journey. So simply this is the practice. So I understand, like, because I also read and not first from scholars, Buddhist scholars, but then I started read the Buddhist Buddhist scriptures, because from the Buddha's words, and try to understand and put everything into the practice. So this is this is the way I learn Buddhism, and simply for me Buddhist meditation, to be honest with you, it's far different from Western psychology, but there are levels that they play in the same role, but in deepest level, yes, because Buddhism, like when it comes to we call it accountability or responsibility of generating the suffering, you are the one who is accountable, who is responsible. Like I'm saying that in the deepest level. So to understand, so for my understanding, because in the sutta it is said to get rid of suffering, first step is you have to understand what is the suffering. Understand as the way it is, not as the way you interpret. So the interpretation cannot come from the scriptures. The scriptures just like to help you to understand, but to understand the exact reality of the suffering, you have to learn from itself. Yeah. From looking at the suffering as the way it is, not as the way you want, or not as the way you interpret. So this is the first step. Then keep practicing. But to be honest, like I'm a very busy man. So.
And when you say about seeing suffering, the reality of suffering, which means you have to understand suffering and feel suffering yourself.
Yeah,
so
like when we sit for meditation, like sometimes like the purpose is of observing your breath, but when your mind gets calmer and calmer, your concentration, your mindfulness, everything, I'm talking about, it's we use the word non-reactive, but it is wholesomeness, activism. It's active but with wholesomeness. Like you sit, when the mind arises, you just knowing that, okay, let it go, let it flow, or like bad mental images comes, you all say okay. Good mental images come, you also okay. So how to react in a positive way? That wholesomeness is what even we use the word non-reactive, but it's about active. Non-reactive here is like it's a psychology term, like non-judgment, non-reactive. But in Buddhism, it's active, but active in a positive way, with kindness, with compassion, with patience, with acceptance, letting go. It's about that. So
something important I learned from you yesterday is you just mentioned non-judgmental.
Yeah.
And so I've heard this a lot, and I've tried to not be judgmental towards whatever I see. And so yesterday, thanks to your introduction, it was like an enlightenment. Like, yes, you do have good things and bad things.
Yeah.
You judge in a way.
Yeah.
But it is your reaction to what you see, which is important. So
correct.
Your judgment needs to be active.
Correct.
So you still have an idea what is good and what is bad.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, then maybe you
get
lost completely. And And so when you see things going wrong and going really bad, you still know this is bad. This
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
okay. But the way how you react to it needs
Correct.
to be in a positive way.
That is the point. Yeah, that is, we need to understand, like,
Yes.
there is bad thing and good thing in the world, but it's about reaction. So reaction, like non-reaction, is, as I said, like it's about reaction in a negative way. It's not about reaction in a positive way. So even the term is used in that way, but to be honest, when it comes to the real practice, you are active. You are really active, but active in a wholesomeness and positivity. So yeah, we need to practice. Then yeah, this is from my understanding, but and not to get lost in the practice, we need the scripture from the Buddha, like, and to be honest, I also read the scripture, but I prefer, to be honest, like, I'm not too proud, like, from the best meditator, you know. I try to find the best meditator, and I try to listen. I listen to everyone, like Mr. Guenka, the best, like, as I told you, the 2 monks from Germany. So I try to combine their teaching, and I also listen to Dalai Lama or everyone, Zen Buddhism, and I try to find the best way for me. So what I came to realize is, like, it's about Buddhism is about conversion. It's about conversion, but the conversion is about from sadness to happiness, and the conversion is to not something else, but yourself. Change your version. You must become the best version of yourself. So this is, and to do that, you have to understand yourself. So mindfulness for me, Buddhist meditation for me is to understand the nature of all conditions, simply your mind and body. And to understand that, you need to cultivate something to understand, because you cannot understand your mind by using your intellectual level. No. For example, it's in Buddhist we use that if you cut the tree, you cannot say, I want to cut the tree, so tree must be cut, tree must be down. No, you have to use the ox or knife. So similarly, to cut the defilement, to understand the defilement, you need something. That is mindfulness, or we can say there's different words. Mindfulness, some people say different term, but and you need that. And if you want them to cultivate it, you have to practice. You need that to understand the reality. You cannot say, okay, why I cannot eradicate my suffering? No. It is like it is not your job. Your job is to cultivate the wholesomeness. So the job of the tree is to bear the fruit. It is not your job. Our job is pouring the water, taking care of the tree, looking after it. So it will bear the fruit at the right time, at the right moment, when everything is combined, is cultivated. So when it comes to practice, from my understanding, your job is to cultivate, keep practicing. So that is what we call patient. You cannot be hurry. You know that, okay, I practice a lot. I meditated for 1 hour, 3 hours, 2 hours a day. Why I cannot reach the end? No, it's not about that. So it's about the right time, right effort, right patience. So everything is samma. Everything is right. So yeah, any question?
So I would like to read those 2 books you mentioned about these German monks.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give me the titles or whatever.
Yeah, I have a book that I think it must be here. Let me check. I copied, like, Venerable Jnana Vibla. I can give you, and one Venerable Jnana Ponika, like mindfulness meditation, the heart of Buddhist meditation. I think it's let me check.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yes. I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah, and okay, I want to share with you, like when we don't meditate, like with eyes closed. So what if you want your meditation to be progressive?
Yes.
You have to develop the manasikara, the wholesome manasikara. So I said, like there are many techniques, so you have to find your favorite one. My favorite one is metta. You know, I keep saying every time as much as possible, may all beings be well and happy, may all beings be well and happy. I keep saying that as much as possible. So it helps you a lot when you come for the sitting meditation. So because you are cultivating, so I said, the thoughts, good thoughts. So it's helped you for the practice. So this is what I have learned, like, and what I have explained is not just from my own experiences, but I never go beyond the scripture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you, you said you have experienced and tried different kind of techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried mantras?
Yeah.
And like,
Mm.
I have come to know a few mantras from Bodhisattva Kuan Yin, for
Mm-hmm.
example.
Yeah.
Om Mani Padme Hum.
Om Mani Padme Hum.
Or some others.
Yeah.
And I do, even though I don't necessarily understand the words,
Mm-hmm.
as you would say when you
Yeah.
when you send metta, you do understand the words.
Mm-hmm.
But I still find it calms my mind.
Yeah.
And even if I don't really know what it means,
Mm-hmm.
how do you explain that?
Okay, it's I call it's the vibration of the sound. Okay, it's vibration of the sound. So the vibration, like the way the sound is operated, can make your mind calm. But that calmness is supportive. It's okay, it's good. And in Buddhism we also do the right recitation. As I said, we call it, when you close your eyes, you can keep saying like, may I be happy, may I be happy, may I be happy, and you keep saying it 1,000 times, million of times. It's okay. So, but to check whether your practice is developed or not, like you have to find, like you have to feel that calmness. You have to feel that compassion, and by seeing your own face, you will see your own face. Like it's like two person, but it is you. So this is one technique from meditation. But and you said the mantra, from my experience, it helps, but they are just supportive. So the purpose of mantra or recitation to make your mind calm. This is the final result. To make your not, it can't help you to understand your own mind, just to calm your mind. But calmness is needed to understand your mind. Like as I explained you, like it's like a muddy water. So it helps. Then sometimes, to be honest with you, when I'm retired, I also use the relaxation music, and the Mahayana mantra, that it's about the paying homage to the Bodhisattva, but it's about cultivating my confidence in Buddhism or in Buddha's teaching. So sometimes I just sit and I just let it play. When my mind calms down, I stop it. Then I start observing my breath. So, like, we might use different techniques from different tradition, but the purpose is the same. What from my own understanding, like in Buddhism, in our Theravadic tradition, when it comes to the practice, there are 4 meditation. Like before practicing breathing exercise, there are 4 techniques to be practiced by every meditator. One is metta, reflection of the Buddha's quality and depth and fullness, like about the body. So the purpose is to calm down your mind. And after because some meditators, they are not familiar with the practice, so like the mind keep wandering, you cannot focus your mind on the breath. So the first technique is just sitting down and recite, may I be happy, or you can say Buddha, like reminding, can see the Buddha image, and you keep saying it, then your mind calms down. So it is advised to stop, then observing the breath. So when you compare these 2 techniques, like the mantra and this recitation technique, is the same. And another technique taught in Buddhism is counting meditation. Like you have to count your breath, 1, 2, 1, to like counting. So when your mind is calm enough,
not to count and just observe the breath as it is, you must stop counting. So I compare these two, different technique, different approaches, but the same.
It uses basically something to point the mind on. So
Correct.
instead of allowing the mind to go wild,
Correct.
to wherever,
Yeah.
you're telling like a dog, now look at this,
Yeah.
and continue to look at this.
Yeah.
So is there a moment when you don't need that anymore? Because at some point your mind will be, doesn't need to have this pointing anymore, that it comes to a space when you sit and
Yeah.
you're there. Are you there? Do you feel that you don't need?
Yeah. Like, to be honest, before I need, now I don't need. Like when I sit, like it's about, how to call that? I use the word like your mind is bound to that object of meditation. Like before, when I meditate, like starting observing my breath, I start doing metta, I start doing everything, something first. But now no, like when I sit, my mind is strong enough, but it's not that strong, but to observe the breath as the way it is. So it's happened to everyone. So as I said, it's about training the mind. So, but to be honest with you, but when I don't practice meditation for 1 week or 1 month, it's really when I go to forest to meditate, like during the first 3 days, to be honest, I find it's really hard. But as you said, and I explained to you, I try not to react or to be frustrated, to be depressed, because just understand this is the nature of the mind. This is the nature of the mind. This is the nature of the wild animal when they are to be tamed. So this is the nature, and it is also mentioned in scripture. So by understanding the reality of the nature of the mind, no reaction, just accept the reality. This is me. Kind to yourself, be kind to yourself, okay, and keep practicing. So for me it's about experiment. It's about learning, when your mind is when your mind is tiring, and not to be hurry to calm it down, to learning the process, So and still keep practicing.
Right. I have experienced, I think maybe 2 or 3 times in different situations that I would sit somewhere, and in the moment when I sit and I close my eyes, there was complete darkness, and there was no thought, and I was as if I would observe the darkness, and I was waiting for a thought to come, but there was nothing, and that in itself made me nervous. Why is there nothing? So I would become I was totally in the state of the observer rather than the mind, and the mind was completely still. It almost shocked me how still it was, and I wanted it to come back, because that's what we are used to. And I don't think it was practice which brought me there. It was the space, I believe. But you were saying that you go into the forest and you sit. I think it had to do with the space where I was sitting. Had an impact on me. I have no idea. And at some point I just allowed it to be what it was. There was this complete nothingness, and I couldn't really. I can't really explain it. It was just
Okay, let me say this, but please don't feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
There is a state in Pali we call it chittang niliyati, like mind sleeps. You don't feel anything. You don't feel thoughts. You don't feel like it's a blank, and you will say it's calm. But you will feel. But to be honest, it is not the mindfulness practice, because in fourth dhyana, we call it fourth absorption, dhyana, yeah. So you will your mindfulness, sati, and your upekha, equanimity, will be bright. It means that mind meditation is about awareness. You see things. If you cannot see things, like you will reach that state. Sometimes I explain like you, but when I consulted my master, no, it is not, because it's like mindfulness is about seeing something. You see everything, so that is why we have to be like aware of your breath. It's very important. Your nostril must be focused on your breath. And while why we need the breath to be focused? Because it is the focus point to understand whether your mind is distracted or not. You know, so when it is distracted, okay, bring it back. Like when the procedure to bring it back is not just bring it back. This is we have to learn. You bring it back with kindness, with compassion. Oh, it is okay. Yeah, like you don't feel frustrated. Why I want to be calm. Why you don't be calm? Like it's kinds of, you know, it's not about fighting with your own thoughts. It's about understanding with your own like. And meditation is not about like aggressive striving, you know. It's about kindness. You have to be kind even with yourself, even with your thoughts. Like when you feel that, as I said, it's about awareness. Like when people, like when they sit, they feel sleepy. So you have to understand, it is the physical sleepiness or mental sleepiness. And it's not about torturing yourself. Like you didn't sleep for the entire, you know, last night or an entire day, and you keep meditating, and you want to win, like yourself. No, I don't sleep. No, it's not about meditation. It's not about like, it's about torturing yourself. Like because you have to understand that it is the physical sleepiness or mental sleepiness. Like for example, when you feel tired and you come to and you want to meditate for 3 hours, like you are fighting with yourself, pushing yourself. You have to sit until 2 o'clock, and you feel nothing. Like you feel tired. But if your physical body is okay, it's fine. But when you sit, if you feel sleepiness, it is another story. It is defilement. So you have to. So what I want to say, like mindfulness is about clear understanding, awareness, aware of everything's going on. As I told you,
in your body and in your mind.
Everything. You have to know, okay, it is not, it is right for me, it is wrong for me, it is good, it is bad. So, but you know that, but you are not reacting. Okay, it's time for me to sleep, you sleep. Like, I don't know how to say, it's about, as I said, Buddhist practice is about cultivating wholesomeness.
You are not reacting with judgment over this is bad, this is bad, this is bad.
Yeah.
So you are reacting with kindness.
Correct.
Towards yourself and towards others.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's about Eightfold Path. Even Eightfold Path, we call it Samma Sankappa. The translation is right concept or right understanding. Yeah, but for me, Sankappa means about attitude. Right attitudes toward yourself, toward the mind. So there are 3 right attitudes in Samma Sankappa. One is kindness and non-violence, letting go. So how to be kind with yourself, with your thoughts, and how to not to react in violent way, like, you know, and how to let it go. So like when it comes to practice meditation, like, you know, right attitudes are very important. So that is it, like, so, but even it is translated as right attitude, but they are the first stage of wisdom in Eightfold Path. So right view, right attitudes. Yeah.
Right view and right attitudes. I learned yesterday in a conversation after the chanting that there are these 3 parts which are important: it's wisdom, morality, and meditation.
Yeah.
How do you call them again in Pali?
Sila. Yeah, that Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path, the right path leading to Nirvana. This Eightfold Path is divided into 3. Morality. The first is morality, then concentration, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, wisdom. But in like this is the order, like morality, concentration, wisdom. But in Eightfold Path, the wisdom comes first. What I want to say, like it's like when it comes to the practice, it's not about order. It's about interconnected. It's about collectiveness. Like you cannot say, okay, I must practice my morality first, then I will practice concentration, or I will gain wisdom. No, it's not about that. Like they are interconnected, interdependent. Like without wisdom, you cannot observe the precepts. Without the precepts, you don't have the wisdom. Like they are interconnected. So that is why in Eightfold Path, the wisdom come to the first order. Yeah.
Would you say that men and women practicing these three, morality, wisdom, and concentration, meditation, would come equally to the point of nirvana?
Yeah. Let me say this. In terms of spiritual development, there is no gender. There is only 5 aggregates. Yeah?
What are the 5 aggregates?
Forms, feelings, perception, volitional formation, consciousness. We are form. Human, according to Buddhist philosophy, is form of these 5. So either you are male or female, you have that ability. So as I said, in terms of spiritual development, in terms of reaching enlightenment, there is no gender issue in Buddhism. But that like, to be honest with you, like, there are many misinterpretations about the gender issue, like in Buddhism. But what I want to say, but in terms of physical differences, they are. We have to accept that reality. But like, where the female is highly respected, Buddha give that, the motherhood, you know, and when it comes to the we call it kindness and compassion, sympathetic joy and equanimity, women, you know, they have more than men. So like, what I want to say, like, where the women is inferior, yeah, it is inferior. Like we have to accept the reality. Like when it comes, the man is superior, we have to accept the reality. Like what I want to say, like in terms of, you know, physical differences, yeah, we have to accept that differences.
And also maybe social differences.
Correct, social difference, like cultural interpretation. But when it comes to the spiritual development, spirituality, the enlightenment, we have the same power.
Right. And so if it is a matter of how we live, how we socially and culturally have designed our lives, and that has created an indifference and an imbalance, then it is up to us to balance that.
Correct.
And maybe this is why Buddha didn't want to have bhikkhunis at the beginning, right? Because he would say that women are maybe they need more protection, or they are, what I heard a lot.
Correct.
Ask these questions, they have so much more responsibility. So they don't have time and peace to sit and meditate as men do.
Yeah. Like as you said, like Buddha never said about that, like when we study scripture, but I think from my understanding, it's about the social, you know, we call it societal context, or from sociology you call it like internalization, that you women must be like this, you have to do that. So it's all like, and it's about the social norms and cultural, you know, I can say, like we can say, I cannot use the word discrimination, but it's about the suppression, like that they don't let you know, grow.
Right.
So and it's about the social issue. It was in India, and Buddha, but finally Buddha allowed. But what, as you said, like as I said, like when we compare the man and woman, when it comes to the practice, I'm talking about in terms of physical differences, physical difficulty. Like, you female find harder than men. Like you have to go to forest, you have to like go alone for arms around. Like it's really like harder and need more responsibility to look upstairs. So that is why that Buddha imposed more regulation for the women.
This was 2,500 years ago.
Yeah.
But now this is not the case. So our female social freedom has
Yeah.
grown immensely.
Different, yeah.
It's different now.
Yeah, yeah.
So would you say if Buddha would live today,
Mhm.
would he maybe come up, or if another Buddha
Yeah.
would be reincarnated today,
Yeah.
would he maybe have a different concept and a different view on how men and women path to enlightenment?
Like, okay, it is my own view. I say yes. Like the rules regarding to the bhikkhuni will be changed because like when not only for the bhikkhuni, when we profoundly interpret the disciplinary codes in the Vinaya for the monks, some are related to the tradition, some are related to the cultural norms. They are not related to the spiritual development. Like for example, like when you go somewhere, you have to put the rope around yourself. So it's about that. People say, and some rules are set by the Buddha because of the people demonstration, like people criticism, like. But before that, Buddha never say about that rules, like monks can go everywhere as like for meditation and they come back. But some people come to complain to the Buddha that society doesn't like the way your disciple behave, but it become prohibited only after the complaining. But what I'm saying, that some rules are culture based, are tradition based, or custom, or we can say rights. So as I said, if there was a Buddha today, he would change some rules, and as you said, that society has changed, and when it comes to the the women roles. Yeah.
And yes, I have heard quite a few rules, and like for example, why in Theravada Buddhism people eat meat, for example, and I heard that the Buddha had a list of animals you shouldn't eat, and this list would include elephant, snake, and so on. So now today we don't have elephant problems. Like there are not elephants anymore to eat, but maybe we overcompensate that. What we do to animals these days is horrible. So maybe today a Buddha today would say don't eat chicken because the way how we treat chicken and how we how they suffer is not correct. So don't you think that Buddhism too should update maybe some of the rules?
From the way the disciplinary codes are made, I strongly agree with what you said. And he will set, to be honest, he will set many rules for us. that is from like at Buddha's time, because there was not kinds of sort of transport, that so they use the animals, they use the people, and we are not allowed to go by even the ox cart, because torturing the animals. So from that philosophy, I think
yes, right.
that it's but people have many interpretation. But what I want to say, but for the progress of the society, it is needed like good rules. But when it comes to practice, I'm saying about the mentality, that not to discriminate, that like vegetarian eating meat, like okay, like you eat, like it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility. I'm talking about the spiritual development, not to let that group of people destroy your inner peace. But for the environmental development and for the protection of the animal rights, those rules would be made from my understanding. Because when we compare the way he regulated the law for the monks, so it can be happen.
Right.
It can be happen.
Because in fact it is about avoiding suffering.
Correct.
Right? So that is the main idea behind it. And so if
and it's about practicing metta,
right,
kindness,
exactly.
and
so the way how we maybe live today is not so much metta anymore.
correct. Yeah. So everything has changed.
Right. I agree. Oh wow, so many different topics we have been
Yeah.
on this start, and you are probably being bitten by lots of mosquitoes.
No, I know, I'm okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this was very, very helpful. Thank you so much. And I would really want to know more about those monks you were.
Yeah, yeah, we can
exploring
we
monks.
can talk maybe tomorrow. I think we really
Mhm.
I think I can talk. Yeah.
Yes. So if I was to, if I wanted to find a master,
Mhm.
as you said, you had a master.
Yeah.
And, even if I'm not a nun,
Mhm.
could I find someone who would guide me? Can I find my path to?
Mm.
I don't even want to say enlightenment because that's a high.
It's highest level.
Exactly. But we all are somehow on our path.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
if
yeah.
We don't sit in a monastery.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are on our path.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if I think you are a master, and the way how you teach and how you explain is wonderful. Would it be possible to be in touch with you and
Yeah.
continue to talk to you? So my future time now, I've been 7 years in Cambodia, and I'm going back to Germany to study psychology and art.
Okay.
And what I've learned from my living in Asia is a lot about Buddhism and about the way how it helps us to calm the mind, to
Yeah.
heal the mind. And I do want to combine these two. Now I've met you and you are doing exactly that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. My pleasure. Like I will help you at my best. And to be honest with you, but I'm still, a baby in spiritual development. So I need to practice more. But I will share what I have, and I mean for the sake of humanity. And to be honest, I try to combine psychology and Buddhism together to make people happy. So different approaches, but I don't harm the core teaching of the Buddha or the core theory of psychology. So I found my own approach, to help the people and to make myself happy. So yeah, this is the technique.
I strongly believe in that too. I believe that religion in the first place was there to help us to cope with our suffering. And of course, that's what psychology also tries. Right?
Yeah.
But it's a very, I believe it has still, because it's a very young science,
Yeah.
that it can learn so much from older teachings. And
Yeah.
obviously religion like Buddhism is 2,500 years
So,
old.
yeah.
There's so much teaching to learn from and to combine. So yeah, I'm very glad to meet you.
Okay, and hopefully we can talk tomorrow again.
Yes, we would love
Okay.
to. I would love to, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
so
So
much.
thank you.
Thank you. Very cool.
Okay.
Thank you so much.